What's up everyone on the internet? Thank you for making this video party. I am so excited to upload this video for you guys because we are finally in AniMay, which means it is finally time to take a look at some anime. And to start things off, we'll be taking a look at an anime that really took me by surprise with its sense of adventure and the journey the story took us on in a place further than the universe. Have you ever thought about doing something very exciting in your life, or if you've already done that, do you remember the steps you took in order to make that dream a reality? In this case, let's talk about travel. Now, I know that not a lot of people can travel, but I think it should be one of those things that everyone should do at least once in their life. Not because it's good to visit other countries, but because it gives you that sense of adventure, that feeling of being you're a fish out of water, and sometimes experiencing the unknown is a thrill in itself. Sorry if I'm getting too deep, but that was the emotional impact I felt after watching this anime. But anyway, this show came out back in 2018 and focuses on high school student Mari Tamaki, who thinks that she hasn't really done anything in her youth. That is until she meets Shirase Kabuchizawa, who is hell-bent on going to Antarctica. Why? Because it was the last place where anyone saw her mother. So Mari decides to help Shirase and somehow gets roped into this adventure as they both work toward their goal into getting on an expedition to Antarctica. Along the way, these two bring along Mari's co-worker Hinata Miyaki and manage to make friends with child actress Yuki Shirashi before these four girls go off onto their adventure. Now, upon rewatching this, I didn't realize this the first time, but when I saw these four girls set off on their adventure, I was like, holy crap, it's Lord of the Rings! Well, sort of. Now, what I mean by that is, like in Lord of the Rings, we have four young characters with no experience in how to deal with the outside world whatsoever, but soon embark on a big adventure which ultimately strengthens their friendship. And I love how each member of the group is someone that we can all relate to. For Mari, she reminds the audience that there are some of us who want to go on an adventure but are afraid to take the first step. When you look at Shirase, you could say that she's the kind of person that is persistent and would most likely be the leader of the group. As for Hinata, we all have those friends who want to be a part of everything just for the fun of it and will do almost anything, no questions asked. And when you look at Yuzuki, you could say that she represents the kind of people that want to work with others but are too afraid to work with them, but need this sort of excitement in order to build their character. So that pretty much sums up our main characters. Now let's go to Antarctica. Wait, hold up. Before we go freeze to death in the snow, there are certain things we need to do beforehand. And that's one of the things that I really loved about this anime, is that it takes its time before making the jump to the main stage. Because in most storytelling, if you are limited on time, the jump from point A to point B is done seamlessly. Here, the story decides to take its time by showing us the many steps it's going to take for us to get to the place where we need to go to, which in this case will be Antarctica. And throughout the season, we watch these four girls undergo numerous trainings as they prepare for the expedition, which was something that I never really considered. Honestly, before watching this, I was assuming that commercial trips to Antarctica didn't require that much. Now, I know that this is an anime which is ultimately not real, but I like to believe that the showrunners had to do some sort of research as to what kind of training a person would have to go through in order to get on an expedition to Antarctica. And I love how we get to watch these four girls who are still in high school now learn how to read maps and navigate through terrain that they'll most likely encounter on their trip. Another thing that I also liked about this show was the overall scenery for once you get to Antarctica. I know that there's not much to look at other than snow and penguins, but watching our four main characters finally reach the destination they have worked so hard and sacrificed so much, you can see the twinkle in their eyes. And even though our four girls have finally made it, the story quickly reminds us as to why we are here in the first place. And without giving away spoilers, I did not expect to tear up that much, because there's a moment where we need to accept the nature of our reality and come to terms with what had happened, and oh my god, I did not expect to cry that much. After that moment, you soon see how these four girls are more than just friends. You could say that they're a fellowship, because honestly, how often do you see a group of characters come together for one another in the freezing snow? I mean, seriously, those girls are ride or die. That's freaking friendship. But anyway, going back to the anime, I really love how the story doesn't drag on for too long and is really well condensed in a 12-episode season. Because with a story so simple, you don't need to stretch it long enough to make it unnecessary. I'll be honest, as much as I love this show, I cannot see it being stretched into a 24-episode season. Sometimes the best stories are the simple ones. From beginning to end, you see these four hobbits, I mean girls, go through their own little character arc throughout their journey, and by the time their adventure comes to an end, you could say that they see their world differently, which is something that happens to most of us after experiencing something big in our lives. In keeping up with the theme of traveling, sometimes when you return back from your trip, you see that nothing has changed. Well, that's maybe because you are the one who has changed for better or worse because of the adventure you went through. So maybe the next time life is offering you a chance to go on an adventure, don't be afraid to say yes. Sometimes what makes the adventure worthwhile is the unexpected things that happen along the way. So if you're interested in watching a show about friendship and adventure, I highly recommend you watch this anime, and I'll go as far as to say that this show definitely makes my top 20 anime of all time. Well, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. That was my overall review on A Place Further Than the Universe. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button to get updates from this channel. I'll see you next time in a brand new video. Bye-bye.